Hello everyone. In this video I will be sharing about my IELTS journey, how I managed to get a band score of 7. I booked my IELTS test on 5th January 2022 and my test was on 17th February 2022. I gave my IELTS general exam in Lucknow. This IELTS journey has not been very easy for me. I had a lot of problems in my personal life. Still, I managed to get a band score of 7. So I really felt that I should also share my IELTS story. So firstly, I gave my IELTS general exam for Canada PR. Being a lecturer, books are always my passion. I have always had an inclination towards reading. So that was not very tough. Earlier I thought that I would easily get a band score of 8 or 8.5, but still I managed to get a band score of 7. So I would like to discuss how I prepared for it. I went through a lot of books, sites which really helped me. I prepared for 1 month. So firstly, I would like to start with the IELTS speaking. So in general, basically IELTS is basically conducted by IDP. Last year in January when I gave the exam, the fee was 14,250. I opted for pen and paper based, and I would advise everyone to give the exam in pen and paper based, not the computer one, because see, in case of computer based, people are not very much equipped to use the computer so frequently, so they may face problems, especially in the reading passages. So when you opt for pen and paper based, you can turn the pages very easily. You have a pencil, HB executive pencil is used. You have a pencil with which you can write also, and you can rub also. So that option is like very good. So I gave my IELTS general pen and paper based exam for Canada PR on 17th February in Lucknow. So firstly comes the IELTS speaking, which is basically for 30 minutes. It will be having 4 sections and 40 questions. So the first section was like, it was a telephonic conversation between 2 people in which they were discussing about the traveling and everything. So the 10 questions will be there in which you have to listen very carefully, because once the conversation ends, you cannot hear it again. So you have to be like very attentive towards it. So the first one is the telephonic conversation and listening. Then comes in the listening, first section is telephonic conversation. Then comes the second section, which is like a monologue, a speech. It is basically a speech by a lecturer in which that person is going to describe about a university lecture or something like that. So 10 questions will be there in that also. Then the third section will consist of 2 or 3 people talking about something, a conversation about a lecture. It can be a diagram also in which you have to locate certain things. The fourth section is also like a passage is given in which you have to like fill in the blanks will be given, and you have to like very carefully listen to the lecture, a monologue, what it has been saying, and you have to fill the blanks. So the listening section was like a 30-minute section, telephonic conversation, a monologue, 1 paragraph speech. So 4 sections will be there, 40 questions and 30 minutes. So listening was pretty easy for me when I attempted it. Then came the reading section. I think reading section is something which really bothers a lot of people, because in reading section, basically the reading section will last for 1 hour. You will have 3 passages, and 3 passages will consist of 20 minutes each. 20, 20, 20. 3 sections will be divided in reading. So the passages are not going to be easy. It will be like certain information will be given and you have to match with the paragraph in which that information is mentioned. So it is not going to be easy. That is why for reading, I will always say that please go for pen and paper based, because in case of reading, you can turn the pages. But when you give the IELTS reading in the computer based, it will be very difficult for you to kind of scroll back and go again. So I will always recommend that please go for pen and paper based. It is really going to help you in reading. So in reading, first 3 to 4 passages will be there, certain informations will be there, and then certain options will be there like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. You have to match like which information is given in which paragraph. Then the true false questions will be there, like true false, not given. All the three passages are not going to be easy. These passages are mostly taken from newspapers, magazines, journals. So this is not going to be easy. So it is very important to read a lot of stuff which is published on Google, on newspapers, in journals, in research papers. So reading was quite tough. I scored a band score of 6.5 in reading, and listening I also got 6.5. So then comes the writing section. The writing section in general is basically divided into two, task 1 and task 2. Task 1 basically consists of letter writing. The letter writing will last for 20 minutes, and minimum you have to write about 150 words. Minimum is 150 words. Maximum it can be like 200, but you cannot write less than 150. Task 1 will consist of that you have to write a letter. It can be like formal letter, semi-formal, and personal letters. So task 1 will consist of letter writing in these three categories, like formal, semi-formal, and personal letter. You have to be like very careful about the salutations which you give in the letter, and also the ending. That is very important, and especially in writing section you have to be very careful regarding the bullet points, like however, therefore. These points are very important. You have to mention these words in your writing because it shows your knowledge regarding the words, like you are able to frame the paragraphs. So after the letter writing, I could still remember that my letter, the letter which I got was semi-formal letter. Semi-formal letter in which I had to write a letter to the hotel manager regarding some information. So I could recall from that. In task 2, you will be getting to write an essay in which the minimum word limit is 250 words, and it should be like 4 to 5 paragraphs. I can still remember my essay was based on the topic like about the future generations. So like you have to frame the structure of the paragraph, like the introduction, the main body, the conclusion, and you have to use these words: firstly, secondly, third, however, therefore, but, nevertheless. These are the bullet words which you have to keep in writing. So the writing section will consist of 1 hour, that is 20 minutes for task 1 and 40 minutes for task 2. Task 1 will consist of letter writing, and task 2 will consist of essay writing. Then comes the last section. Listening, reading, and writing will happen on one day, that is after a certain point of time. My listening, reading, and writing happened on 17 February, and after 5 to 6 days I gave my speaking test. In the speaking test, it was a video chat. It lasted for about 11 to 15 minutes. It was divided into 3 tasks: task 1, task 2, and task 3. In the task 1, you have to be very careful about the introduction which you give to the tutor or the examiner who is interacting with you. You have to be very careful about your words because everything is recorded, so that they can hear it again and again, whether you are able to speak properly or not, whether you have the knowledge about the grammar or not. So it is very important. Task 2 will consist of a cue card, like the examiner may ask you that you have to speak about a person, about a teacher in your school which had a very good influence on you. Then you will be getting about 2 minutes to write it on a paper so that you can frame what sentences you have to say. And the third one, and the task 3, will also be a kind of discussion which is related to task 2. So the speaking is going to last about 11 to 15 minutes. You have to be like you have to take care about the way you speak, the grammar which you use. You don't need to use very fancy sentences. The sentences must be correct and it should sound well. You have to take care about that. And I got 6.5 in each: listening, reading, and writing. In speaking, I got 7.5, due to which my overall IELTS band score was 7. I was happy with the score, but I still think if my personal reasons were not there, I would have easily got a band score of 8 or 8.5. But as we all know, the IELTS score is going to last for 2 years. And I will also share my IELTS result at the end of this video. Basically, now the IELTS fees is like 16,250. The IELTS is basically conducted by IDP, and you can give it The pen and paper based, I will suggest always to give the exam. You can give the pen and paper based exam like 48 times a year. Mostly you can book it on Thursday and Saturday, while computer based you can give it on a regular basis. Like it is available, you can book the slots, it is available on a regular basis, but pen and paper based is very difficult to book the slots for that. And also the fees is 16,250. IELTS is basically, one is general, that is basically for the people who want to work abroad, and academics is basically for the people, IELTS academic is basically for the people who are looking to study abroad. So everything is similar, like listening, speaking, writing, reading in both general academic is almost similar. The only difference comes in writing. That is, in IELTS Academy, the task 1 will consist of pie chart, graphs, diagrams, on the basis of which you have to write a summary. While in IELTS General, task 1, you have to write a letter. That is the only difference that is in general and academic IELTS. Otherwise, listening is same in both the cases. Reading is also same in both the cases. Writing is only different in the task 1 in both the sections. Like in IELTS General, in task 1 you will get a letter to write, while in academic in task 1 you will get paragraphs, you will get diagrams, pie charts to write a summary, while speaking is also same in both the cases. So there is no such difference. But this was my IELTS story. I hope that this is going to help you. Like, I have tried to cover all the things which I have used to prepare myself, and trust me, with a sheer dedication and effort, you can easily get a band score of 7, because I got a band score of 7 within 1 month. That also, I was going through a lot of personal stuff. My mother-in-law actually was hospitalized, and I had a lot of things going on. Still, I managed to get a band score of 7. I was happy with it, but I still feel that I could have got much more than that. Still, I will be sharing with you my IELTS result at the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Thank you.